So, I've been working on several of my writing books for a while. A lot of these stories have lived in my head for a long time, and I just want to get them out because I feel like I'll have more room for other things. I've had experience with something like this before back when I lived in the US. I spent a lot of time worrying and thinking about how to avoid every problem because in the US we tend to blame each other for not avoiding situations that we really shouldn't be reasonably expected to avoid. And now that I live here in Sweden, I don't have to think 6 steps ahead at all times, what I used to call Batman thinking. And I have so much more room in my brain because I don't have to be focused on all of those things and they're not just constantly playing on a loop in the background in my head. So, when it comes to writing these books, I have been very, very interested and excited to do so for a long time, but because my life is so busy with other things, including looking for work, learning Swedish, running regular D&D games for other people, and dealing with the numerous myriad issues of living with someone who has ADHD, I do most of the cleaning and stuff in the house, and I have to finish a lot of projects that I did not start. So, in addition to all of those things, it's very hard to stay motivated to write. And a couple of friends of mine have said that while they didn't want to read the things that I had written, that they would be happy to listen to the things that I have written. So that's why I'm recording these things, so that they can read and listen to them. Now, I have made a friend recently on TikTok, the other app, the Clock app. And the Clock app has introduced me to several authors, and I've been talking to them and reading their works. And they all have different strengths than I do, and so that's kind of awesome. One of them is particularly good at description and setting, and so I'm going to be talking to him about how to fix my current white room problem, because, well, I definitely have a very good understanding of my characters and the way that they talk, and their individual voices, and I have good ideas about the events that will happen. I'm not doing description very well at this point. However, if I stop and focus on description at this point, I will stop going forward with the writing. And I have done that in the past. So, mostly the reason that I am focusing on just getting this story down, getting it down with the way I do, because the type of storytelling that I do, usually through Dungeons & Dragons or other role-playing games that I run regularly, is I know who the characters are, and I know what the events will be, and I know what they sound like. And I need to go back in and add description, location, action, etc. because I'm used to letting my players do that part. I'm used to letting my players fill in what things look like, where they are, what they're doing, and their actions, how they react to the situations that I put together. So, here in my YouTube channel, I recognize that the writing is not where it should be. I recognize that I have severe white room issues. I recognize that there needs to be a significant amount of work on pacing. And I recognize that there needs to be a significant amount of work on editing. But if I stop to do those things, I will never finish these stories. Each of these books that I'm working on, I have been working on for literal years. So while I like them and I think that they're pretty good comparatively, they are not complete. You are seeing them in their earliest alpha, and they have not even been beta tested yet. But because I have friends who have been giving me motivation to write, I am putting them out there because I'm not afraid of putting out something shitty. I'm not afraid of doing something that is not perfect, because if I was, I would never finish a goddamn thing. And I'm tired of not finishing goddamn things. So, if you are here reading these chapters, recognize they are not finished. Recognize that they are not done. If you like them, great. They are a significant part of the story that I am going to tell. But eventually I will be going back and filling in A lot more description, a lot more feeling. And a lot of the authors that I've read who are successful are less good at character stuff than I am, at less good at knowing who their characters are and how they act. So all of us have our strengths, and unfortunately, unlike many writers that I know, I am not just a writer. I'm doing 5 million other things, and those 5 million other things will not wait. They cannot wait. And many people have told me in the past that if you're not obsessed with writing, you're not really a writer. And that makes me sad. But as a storyteller, I am definitely a storyteller. It's just whether I can make that storyteller work as a writing thing, or if I just need to stick to my day job, which is teaching. Anyway, I hope that this is interesting for you. If you enjoy my writing, I hope that you continue to do so. It is all on Wattpad, including the nonfiction stories that are forbidden that so many of my students desperately want to hear. So, this is how I am doing this. This is how the YouTube channel is going to work for pretty much the foreseeable future. Eventually things may change, but right now I'm just going to keep posting chapters weekly. I may be posting from the book that I'm currently working on, which is Mary Sue. I may also post from Becky, which is another book that I am working on. I hope you are all well. Have a great weekend. Bye.